episode 3419. Is there such a thing as guilt-free eating?
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're having a fabulous week. I want you to be thinking today about your body from the inside out. What do you need to fuel your everyday? Is there such a thing as guilt-free eating? For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already had the opportunity, you'll want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, inspiring connection and community. Well, I just want to pause here for a moment. I mean, I'm all about food. I love food. In fact, I just went to the big box store the other day and I did have that impulse buy. Oh, yes. And it was bad. I'm telling you, it was bad. It was a flavored popcorn. I'll leave it at that. I won't go into any more details. It was a flavored popcorn. No, it wasn't butter. But I thought, I really like chips. So maybe if I do this one, it might be delicious. Well, it actually wasn't that delicious till about the 10th bite. And then I started thinking, why am I even eating it? You know, sometimes we do things because we get this feeling, this rush, this endorphin within us that says, oh yeah, that makes me feel so good. But if we were to think about it for a moment, why do we have to feel good 10 bites in? We should feel good at one bite, just one bite, meaning that it really is satisfying something. And so as I began to really think about it for myself, because food and I love each other. Actually, no, I love food. Food doesn't love me, but you know that story. We'll cover some of it. But seriously, are you tired of feeling guilty whenever you reach for a tasty treat or indulge in your favorite comfort food? Maybe it's pizza for you. Maybe it's a fast food restaurant that you love so very much. Maybe you love the deep seafood fried, just like crispy all around, and you want to dip it in 20 different sauces. In fact, you're like, why don't I just have the sauce? Because really you're not eating much of anything else. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, imagine enjoying food without all the guilt. Or is there such a thing as guilt-free eating? I mean, what if you could? Come on, let's just go there for today. What if you could enjoy food while still maintaining a healthy lifestyle? Maybe guilt-free eating is the answer. I mean, oh man, I would really like it to be. I mean, the secret to savoring every bite without compromising your well-being. Yeah, let's go back to the big box store for me, right? And I had that impulse buy. In fact, one of them, well, it wasn't for me. One was for me, but then I was picking up something for my daughter, and she's working on some major tests that are coming her direction. And she's like, Mom, I just need some snack food. So I saw this one thing and I'm like, okay, this is so not good for you, but it looked so good. Well, guess what? Another person came by and she was like, is that really good? Because we had it in our cart. I had no idea. We just bought it. I liked what it said. I kind of trusted the manufacturer, as in they've made other good things, even though it's a boxed food, a boxed snack. So really it's not good for you. But again, it was just one of those things. So that impulse buy was for my daughter. And I thought, how funny that a person would come up to me and ask me if that food was good. And I really couldn't answer her. Then I thought, gosh, I would love to indulge myself in this. I mean, it just sounded good. It was these wafers that were chocolate with peanut butter and just crumbles. And I was like, I am all in. If it is sounding as good as what it looks, yeah, I want it, right? Maybe you've had that experience. Maybe you're all too familiar with it, which means you are not really successful on dieting as a whole. Gone are the days, my friend, of restrictive diets and constant calorie counting. We can exhaust ourselves with that. Guilt-free eating is all about finding, my favorite word, balance, not so much, making mindful choices and treating yourself in a way that really aligns with your health goals. What are your health goals? I mean, you got to start there first. If you don't know what your health goals are, it's hard for you to move forward. But let's look at it and pretend that it's about nourishing your body and soul without any feelings of regret and deprivation. A lot of times we go on these diets and it's like, you can't have this, and this. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, I've been working hard since last year, okay? I've been doing this now for a year and a half. And I got to tell you, I have plateaued a little bit. Why? Because things got a little bit crazy, came January and February of 2024. And so I plateaued a little bit, but I haven't gained really any weight. I have gained some inflammation, which I have already tested. I can get out of my body pretty quickly. However, I got to say that I was like, well, at first, before I really started doing some digging in over a couple weeks, I was like, well, maybe I'm gaining some weight. And I started to feel guilty. I was like, oh, man, I've worked so hard. And then I was like, oh, no, wait. So then I went digging and I started measuring some things and making sure and seeing how my body was responding. And I was like, oh my goodness, I am so impressed with my body, even with my mind, because I was making decisions. Yes, it was guilt-free eating. Was I eating everything that I wanted to eat? Oh, yeah, probably more so than what I needed to eat. And I think that's where we need to look at it. This guilt-free eating is all about releasing the regret and deprivation. We can't sit here and allow ourselves to feel horrible every single time we put a fork in our mouth or a spoon in our mouth or even a straw. Okay. Or however you drink your drinks, whatever it is, you're even think about your coffee. And there's so many coffee drinkers out there. And it's funny, I'm traveling right now and my mom's with me and she drinks coffee. I do not. And so she orders this, I can't even tell you what it is, with a splash of this and a pinch of this and a dash of that. And I'm like, what are you having? I'm like, just grab a gallon of milk and put a sprinkle of coffee in it. And that's what you have. Or grab a half a gallon of ice cream and put a sprinkle of coffee. And that's really what you're having. Now, she loves it and she can have whatever she wants, right? Guilt-free drinking for her. But for me, I'm like, oh yeah, that just doesn't sound appealing. That's because I don't like it. But she loves it, right? And I think sometimes we look at our lives that we have to have this, no, you can't have this in order to be successful. And I'm here to tell you, challenge yourself on that thought. Because what if the answer was yes, you could have guilt-free eating, that it really does work? And when you embrace it, you not only free yourself from the shackles of guilt and shame surrounding food, because we all have it. We do. If you've ever gone on a diet, you have guilt and shame when it comes to food. You just do. But it also cultivates this positive relationship with eating, the fork and spoon or the straw, whatever goes in your mouth, right? This mindset shift can have a profound impact on your overall health and well-being. So just imagine for a moment. Oh, I love imagining, especially when it comes to food. A piece of chocolate cake, enjoying it. Oh man, it is so moist. It's so delicate and decadent. I mean, that there's only just a very thin layer of frosting on the top. And it's that frosting that's homemade. Oh, and it just melts in your mouth. And you can just enjoy this piece of cake without the mental tally of calories consumed. You don't even have to look at it on the menu. Just because the government says we have to know all the calories, you don't have to worry about it because you understand what's in the piece of chocolate, how you've been eating over your day, and is it going to serve you well in this immediate moment, right? Imagine this too. Savoring a slice of pizza, not just any pizza, but pizza with friends. And it's hot, fresh out of the pizza oven, off of the stone. And you can, the cheese is just dripping off of it. And guess what? You get to enjoy it without worrying about how it's going to affect your weight. No longer is there a number, concern. With guilt-free eating, you can make this a reality, allowing you to truly relish in the joy of food without the burden of guilt, which means you can actually eat to fuel your body, not just to eat to fuel whatever commercials coming on from TV or in your feed or whatever. You're just adding to their pocketbooks. What about adding to your heart? Think about that. So how can you start incorporating guilt-free eating into your life? Well, you got to eat without the guilt. That is your Kiss to Keep It Simple strategy. Eat without the guilt. So I want us to look at what you can do. I mean, what does it really look like in real life? Because I get it, there's going to be a few red flags for people. And one of the concerns is that how do I eat guilt-free without really measuring much? Okay, meaning you're not keeping track of the scale, you're not keeping track of, whether you're up and down, all around. You're not keeping track of your macros or micros, all of that, right? Your macronutrients, your micronutrients. You are there because you said, I know what my body needs at this moment in time, and so I'm going to enjoy this moment. And this moment is going to look like this. Well, I got to tell you this. You have to be willing. If you're going to eat without the guilt, okay, you have to be willing to get to know your body and listen intentionally to the cues that it gives you. The grumbles, the like putting on the brakes, like those are my coyotes going off. I mean, they just like sound off all the time when I eat, and it's usually within 5 minutes or less. I kid you not. They just go off, and when it's really bad, my husband and my children are commenting, and pretty soon, believe it or not, my grandson has already made some comments. Grandma, what was that? And I'm like, that was just Grandma's tummy. Why did it sound like that? And I'm like, oh, Grandma ate something that wasn't good for her. And he's like, oh, don't do that again, Grandma. And I'm like, okay. Now, if you go with that mentality, you can eat without the guilt because you are listening to your body, and that's the key. So if you can do that, you get to live the life that you want and enjoy food in the manner that you want it, not where you get to indulge in it where, you're like swimming in candy or swimming in chocolate cake or swimming in pizza, all which sounds delicious and you can eat your way out of it. No, that's not healthy, right? We know that. So how do you do this? What does it look like in real life? Well, there's 3 areas that I want to cover today: mindfulness, moderation, and compassion. So let's look at mindfulness. First off, you got to start with gratitude. Before each meal, take a moment to appreciate the food in front of you. I know that sounds strange. Now, I'm one who prays and thanks God for the food, his bountiful blessings. It allows me just to pause. That's me personally. I'm not saying you have to do that, okay? But I would say that be grateful. Maybe you got your paycheck and it's payday weekend and you treated yourself to whatever you're about to eat. Be grateful that you had the fortitude and the discipline to go to work every day to earn that paycheck so you could have the food that sits in front of you. It changes everything, okay? Consider also where it came from, right? Bless them. Say, oh man, I am so grateful that someone who took their time came up with this amazing ingredient or this recipe because it just tastes so scrumptious. Think about how it nourishes your body and the effort that went into preparing for it. Even if you go out to eat, right? Start with gratitude. You begin then to set your senses off and engage them. And as you eat, pay attention to the colors, the textures, the flavors, the smells of your food. What does it look like? How does it go down? I mean, just savor every moment. Chew slowly. 30 times on average, we need to be chewing. We're not doing it. But when you do that, you're savoring each bite. And then you get to fully experience the sensory pleasure of eating. And that's when you begin to practice mindful eating. Take that time. Sit down at a table. Don't stand up and eat. I do it all the time. I do. I'm guilty as charged. But focus. Sit down. Enjoy your meal. Okay? Avoid the distractions like what? Your reels. Get off of them. You don't need to go on Facebook Marketplace. You don't need to be hanging out there. No. Allow yourself to truly be present and enjoy the experience of eating. My friend, that's mindfulness. That is looking at the whole picture as to what food gives you, okay? And it's going to give you this boost of energy, right? And enthusiasm to what? Go complete the rest of the day. So you can go out and impact the world in the way you want to impact the world and how you touch it, okay? That's mindfulness. The other one is moderation, right? So start with portion control. This is a fun one. I love challenging people on this one. A lot of times our plates just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Even paper products are getting bigger and bigger. Your paper plates, if you look at them, they're no longer like the 7-inch size. We have to increase it to 9 and 11-inch size. Ridiculous. So start using smaller plates and bowls to help control your portion sizes. Now, if you're like, Christiane, all I have are big plates, guess what? Go to the dollar store. Go to the thrift store, go to a garage sale, go on Facebook Marketplace. No, they're not a sponsor here, but in this case, just listen. Go there and find some small plates for next to nothing, okay? You don't have to break the bank for this. It doesn't have to be a lot. It only can be maybe 2 or 3 or 4 of them. I actually did this. Actually, it was just a little over a year ago. And I wanted to do it. Why? So when I had a sweet treat, I did not have a bowl as big as what I wanted to eat. Notice the difference. It's what I allowed myself to eat. And so I got these special little bowls that were kind of cut differently, and they looked like they were, put in and created, handcrafted, itself. And so I was like, yes, I love that. Well, what is that doing for me? It's called portion control. And it's helping me be mindful of my serving sizes. And then I'm allowing myself to listen to my body's hunger cues to prevent overeating. If I have a smaller bowl and I'm already getting this howling effect, or I'm getting this gurgle, gurgle, or maybe I'm just like, oh, you know what? I'm really satisfied with 5 bites. Why do I need to finish the other 5 bites that are in there? You don't need to finish the plate, right? My grandmother was all about, you need to finish your plate. No, I'm not all about that. I love my grandmother, but no, you do not need to finish your plate, okay? 3 to 5 bites is all you need when you really want to taste something. Now, if you're eating your protein, that's a different conversation. I'm not talking about that, so don't send me those hate emails, all right? So portion control, all right? That's all about moderation. What about plan to indulge, what you can indulge in, right? When do you do it? When do you allow yourself to have that extra treat? For me, sometimes it's on the road. Why? Because I don't eat it at home. It's easy for me to stay on task at home, but when I travel, not so much. So that's when I enjoy my favorite treats in moderation, and I schedule them based on when I'm going to travel, right? And this allows me to look forward and fully appreciate the indulgences without the guilt. And guess what? I get to try new things around the country as I travel. And then I want you to think about this when it comes to moderation. You've got to look at balance in a different way. And that balance is having a balanced meal. So I want you to eat a rainbow plate. Literally, your plate needs to be very colorful. You need to think about leafy greens. You need to think about red and oranges and yellows. When you eat a colorful plate, and I know protein isn't very colorful. I know that's the exception to the rule, but that's the earth. That's the dirt. Okay, seriously. So you do need your protein. But in everything else, make sure it's rainbow. And that is one thing my grandma did get right. She said, you always need to have a colorful plate, Christiane. And so that's what I did. I've always eaten that way. Now, I got to say, sometimes it's easier to eat more balanced than others. I've gone through my struggles, but think about lean proteins, your whole grains, your fruits, your vegetables, and don't forget your healthy fats, right? Balancing your plate can help you feel satisfied and nourished without overeating. That's the key. Listen, remember all of this. If you want to eat guilt-free, you've got to listen to all of your body and be intentional about it. And then finally, self-compassion. Compassion is crucial. We have to care for ourselves, and sometimes we're ones who care for others better than we care for ourselves. So look in the mirror and be honest with yourself. Are you taking care of yourself? Most of us would say no. Now, I got to tell you, as I'm recording this, I literally have my shake next to me. Oh, yes, and it is so cold. This mama here loves a cold, icy shake, and it's so cold that my straw is even frosting up. I love a cold shake. So what is it for you? Because for me, that's like an ice cream treat, seriously. But it has so much protein in it. What I eat is 32 grams of protein in the shake. It's incredible. And it gives me exactly what I need, yet, listen here, yet I'm getting my protein. And so it is an indulgence for me, but it's also balanced for me. So when you think about compassion, you've got to be able to care for yourself. And I have done a lot of hard work in caring for myself. I didn't do that for years prior. Why? Because I was nursing or pregnant for 10 years. I blamed everything on my children. I don't have time for them. Or actually, I have time for them. I don't have time for me, which means, I just don't have time, period. Because, 5 kids under the age of 8 is craziness. Awesome, but craziness. So you've got to have some self-compassion. You've got to look in the mirror and say, do I love myself where I'm at? That answer better be yes. You may want to lose weight. That's okay. But you still have to love yourself where you're at. I'm writing a book right now, and oh my goodness, I'm having to go backwards a little bit in time. And let me tell you, oh, it's good for the soul. It really, really is. And one of the things I talk about is that reflection, who you see in the mirror. And you may not like who you are right now, but you've got to love yourself and who you are right now so you can become who God intended you to be. So that comes with self-compassion. So challenge your negative self-talk. If you say, gosh darn it, you're looking old. Man, look at those roots on your head. You really need to go in and get a root job. Yeah, maybe so. I mean, I have no color in my hair any longer. I lost that, oh gosh, decades ago. And so I really do take care of my hair. But I will tell you this, I felt like my hair was getting a little straggly. So we cut off about 6 inches. And now my hair's still long. I didn't lose a whole lot of length. I just lost that dangly stuff that really was just hanging on for dear life. And now my hair looks fuller. It looks healthier. It looks good. And now I kind of have my natural little curl back in when I let it air dry now that we have so much humidity because it's summer. Anyway, so challenge that negative self-talk, right? Replace self-critical thoughts with kind and compassionate statements. Say, wow, you may need to color those roots, but you know what? You're not looking too bad for 40 years old. Whatever it is that you need to do, remind yourself that it's okay to indulge occasionally, right? That your worth is not defined by your food choices. Did you hear me? If you have a real shake, not my protein shake, but if you have a real shake, and you ordered a medium instead of a mini small, then don't sit there and judge yourself, right? Enjoy your shake and move on. That's what you need to do. Otherwise, it's going to bother you. And that doesn't get you anywhere, right? And that's not compassion. Also, practice forgiveness. If you find yourself feeling guilty about a meal you had or a snack, or maybe it's a week or a season in your life, forgive yourself and move on. Okay, learn from what you didn't like, take that and move forward, right? Remember, everyone has moments of indulgence. So it's important to show yourself grace and understanding, but don't use it as an excuse or a crutch to keep doing something that you don't like. Okay, that, my friend, shows a lack of maturity. So, it goes hand in hand. It's one of those things just like, yeah, it's a catch-22, but you can do it. And then focus on progress, not perfection. I'm not exactly where I want to be right now. However, I am making a permanent lifestyle impact. I am living the way I want to live for the rest of my life, not for a season of my life. And that's the key. What are you doing? How are you choosing to live within your own lifestyle? Recognize that you've got this healthy relationship with food. And is it healthy? Is it not? And maybe you need to go on that food journey in a different manner. Celebrate the small victories. If you only celebrate when you lose weight on the scale, like when the number moves, you're not going to have a lot of celebrations in life because we're going to fail more than we succeed. So celebrate the small victories along the way and acknowledge those positive changes that you make in your eating habits. When you choose to eat carrots, it was so funny. I've got to tell you this. So I'm down south here with my grandbabies. And my grandson gets up. He's going to school. Yes, he started a new school. I know you're thinking summertime. Yes, I know. It's a long story. We'll go into that later. But he started a new school. I'm so excited for him. And we were packing his lunch. And all of a sudden, he was telling his daddy, I want carrots, Daddy. May I have some carrots? And so Daddy brought over some carrots. And he ate like 4 of them. They're little baby carrots. Okay, great, yummy, delicious. This is for breakfast, by the way. Okay, talk about eating a plate of rainbows. Yes, of colors. It was gorgeous. Well, then he ate all of them. He wanted another one. There was one that was hiding he didn't see. So I turned it around and he got that one and he ate it. Then he was like, I want more. So I got him more. And then all of a sudden he was done. He had about 3 or so more. And he was like, Grandma, I'm done. Here, you can have this one and this one and this one. And I thought, I really don't want to have carrots in the morning. But I thought, you know what? This was a good decision for him. He didn't ask for cereal. That's nothing but sugar. He didn't ask for juice that has nothing but sugar. He asked for carrots. What can I do to support him in his decision? And I said, oh yes, we're going to eat carrots. And so we ate him like a rabbit. He thought it was the best thing ever. You see, that's how you make an impact in your life. okay, in how you feed your body. That's being mindful. That's being appreciative of where you are in the season that you're in. That is saying, I can indulge in some food guilt-free because I'm working within moderation. I have that compassion to love myself in my daily routine. I don't have to be hard on myself. And when you do that, that's when you create a positive and sustainable approach to eating. My friend, I hope that's the journey that you're on when it comes to eating, because your nutrition is key. You can exercise till the cows come home, right? You can walk yourself crazy. You can, pump iron, whatever it is. But if you are not eating well for your body and doing your body well when it comes to nutrition, you're going to have a very difficult life later on in life. And the quality of life that you're looking for, I'm telling you, is going to degrade. I'm just being honest with you. What you put in your mouth, what's on your fork, on your spoon, and in your straw is going to matter. So remember that guilt-free eating is about nourishing your body and enjoying food without the guilt. And treat yourself with kindness and understanding when you make mistakes, right? Practice. Have patience. Then, and then only, can you embrace this healthier relationship with food that supports your overall well-being. Isn't that ultimately what you want? Don't let guilt dictate your relationship with food any longer. Embrace guilt-free eating as a key to truly unlocking a healthier lifestyle. Then you can smile more. Then you can look in the mirror and say, ha, you got this. And you can do the happy dance. Why? Because you are living a balanced life in the manner that your body calls for it. It's time to indulge in the foods you love without the weight of guilt. That's one number you don't want to focus on. So you got to love your mind, body, and spirit, right? Go out. And I promise you, when you eat guilt-free and you pay attention to what you're putting in your mouth, your mind and body will thank you for it. Go in peace, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.